Yeah, so I'm just leaving the hospital now. They did testing, and what they found was that indeed I do have sepsis. I do have blood poisoning, most likely from the tooth that I had extracted yesterday. And I just want you all to understand something. I feel like if I didn't come to Tanzania, I would have died. Because I've been to the hospital so many times in America with the same complaint. They have taken my blood. I have had a consistent white blood count, higher than normal white blood count, for at least 6 years. Okay, that's long before I had JoJo. I was diagnosed with a brain tumor in 2013, and I have had blood work after blood work after blood work done. I have pernicious anemia. No one can tell where my blood is going, and no one can tell where this white blood cell thing is coming from. And I took it upon myself to do some research on that mercury that I had in my tooth. So I've known that it was in my tooth. It was bothersome to me, to my body, for a while. But since this coronavirus thing hit, that tooth got loose on its own. Last year when I went to the dentist, they took x-rays. I have the x-rays, I could show anyone. They took x-rays. That tooth was fine and strong. Yesterday when I took the x-ray, you can see that there was pus gathering underneath the bone, right? So the dentist was very professional, but he didn't know my story well enough to say, well, look, you need to go do this or go do that. He did his part, which was extracting the tooth with the mercury in it, which I don't even know. You know, whenever I went to the dentist in America, they were like, oh, you have to have that specially done. You have to have, you know, only a specialist can do it. But yesterday, I just needed the tooth out because I can tell I was feeling very sick. I knew, I don't know if it was from the mercury or from the tooth itself, but I knew that that saliva going down my throat could not have been good for me. As I said before, I've been trying to get that tooth out, but no doctors were open during coronavirus. So, last night, after having the tooth extracted yesterday, I could not sleep. I was in so much pain. I was in the same kind of pain that I was last week when I thought I had food poisoning, but worse. So I was sleeping on my knees. I was moaning and groaning, and I said, no, there is something more afoot here. It's the same kind of pain that I had when the ambulance came and took me to the emergency room in this big fabulous facility, Brunswick County Regional, somewhere in North Carolina. And they said that I was not having a heart attack, and they could not figure out what was going on with me, right? And they sent me home anyway. I spent less than 1 hour at this hospital near my house, and within 1 hour, this little 28-year-old African doctor, beautiful young girl, could tell me that I had sepsis, could tell me also that I had, when she did the blood work, she knew that I had an ulcer, which the ulcer I suspect because I work a lot. When I'm working, I don't eat, and if I'm, you know, if I'm really busy, like I just push something in my mouth. It's not necessarily sitting eating. And she was like, you're not eating 3 meals a day. I know that. So whatever crystal ball she had is the same crystal balls that the doctors use in Jamaica so I know what good healthcare is. The doctors in Jamaica are all trained in Cuba. So when I go to the doctor, they do a full workup. And anything that's like, oh, this is strange, they don't send you home with what's strange. They fix it. They say, this is strange, this is not normal. Could it be this? Could it be that? Let's investigate. Let's do blood work. You do blood work. I've been doing blood work consistently for 6 years with a high white blood cell count. I have no other disease. I have no underlying disease aside from sickle cell anemia, sickle cell trait. I have nothing, right? And you're telling me that these medical doctors in America couldn't say, well, maybe you have sepsis, maybe you have some kind of infection going on. I've known for 6 years, since 2013 when I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. I did a lot of research on my body. I did a lot of research to figure out how could a young, healthy woman who eats, I mean, I don't eat like square meals, but I eat like good fruits, vegetables, greens, how could I get so sick so quickly? And that's when I began to research into the mercury. So they kept saying, oh, you need to have it. It needs to be specially pulled because mercury emits vapor and yada, 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 yada. So had JoJo, and I was doing my own chelation, which if you have those kinds of things in your teeth, flaxseed, cilantro, I've been taking those things to push the mercury through my digestive tract to get it out. So I've been doing my own, like self-care. But since this coronavirus hit, and I know y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but I just did a documentary, right? It's called The Internet Did It. Look it up. The Internet Did It. It's on Vimeo. I'll probably put the link in the description. I created that documentary investigating the link between coronavirus and the 5G, right? And at the time when everyone was thinking that, oh, this is absurd, there is no connection between coronavirus and 5G, go and check out that documentary that I made. It will blow your mind. I know, because I worked in telecom. I know because I invested in telecom. So I am very well aware that there is a lie. I'm very well aware that there is an electromagnetic reaction that mercury in my tooth had to something in the air that I could not see. But I heard the high-pitched ringing, and in a matter of hours, I was having a seizure in my jaw, and the tooth was contracting and pushed itself out of the gum. Okay? And if you go and research coronavirus and sepsis, a lot of the patients who are dying from sepsis, okay? Which is a poisoning of the blood. Now, from as far as based on my personal case, I believe that I had some interaction with some interference that activated the mercury in the tooth, and the tooth became infected and led to the secondary invasion of the sepsis. That's what I think happened to me. Okay, and I've been fighting this for months. I made myself homeless. I ran away from my house in Westchester County because I knew that this coronavirus thing was real. On March 11th, when my class went online, I was in a plane. The minute they went online, I was in a plane out of there. I was out of New York, and I've never been back to New York. In order for me to come here, I sent for my belongings. I stayed on the New Jersey side of the George Washington Bridge, and I sent for all of my clothes and all of my belongings to come from Westchester, and I started to discard what I didn't want and keep what I needed. And it was one straight shot to JFK. I did not bring JoJo back into Westchester. Let me tell y'all something. These doctors are lying. They're lying. They know that there are so many secondary infections. They know that the coronavirus isn't just this virus that you get and you get sick and die. There are a lot of secondary things, clots that are happening, thrombosis that is happening in your lungs. Otherwise, young people are just dropping like flies and dying. As I said before, I'm sure that I was exposed because I go to school in the heart of New York City, and I lived in Westchester County where it broke out in New York City. So I am sure, I'm positive that I was exposed, and I treated myself with roots and herbs anything that I could do to take care of myself my own way. And when I felt like I was dying is when I showed up in the hospital, not once, twice, but 3 times. 3 times. The first time when I was having the seizure in my jaw, they sent me home. The second time I went to go get testing, they said, oh no, you're fine. They sent me home. The third time I was having a heart attack, and they're telling me, oh, it's not your heart, it's not this, it's not that. They gave me a baby aspirin. You're telling me in the big United States of America, the United States of America could not say you have blood poisoning. No one, none of these doctors, I just went through the medical system, none of these doctors, if I stayed in America, I would have died, because I would sit there and think, oh, I just have the stomach ache. Oh, the sepsis would have gotten so bad. Go look up sepsis. It's a blood, it's, what is this? Is he selling it? Huh? How much does he want? Because I need one for Jojo. Yeah, so anyway, I'm trying to get back professional, but yeah, these people are not playing, these doctors are not, they're not playing games. You know, they know what's happening, right? Anyway, I see a guy selling mosquito nets. My driver is negotiating for me, but I'm going to put a link to the documentary that I made, and I want you to watch that documentary from the beginning to the end. There is a reason why black people are dying. There's a reason why black people are targeted, and a reason why black people are dying. Poor health care in America is killing black people. Sorry to be so upset, y'all, but it took this 28-year-old girl not even an hour to figure out what was going on with me. I don't eat. Why the hell am I so big?